Track 2. This is called The Definition of Ugly Is. Definition of ugly is. Sometimes I will read the lyrics after a song. Sometimes I'll read the lyrics before a song. I just like to keep you on your toes.
물결 속에 비춰지는 날 보면 부족한 게 너무 잘 보여지네. 난 이상해, 다들 말해, 또 날 피해. 이젠 익숙해, 속상해도 모두가 밀어내 날. I know I don't belong here. Why am I so insecure? 차갑게 비웃은 날. 따뜻한 게 들린 것일까? 특별한 게 잘못된 걸까? 왜 기대해, 말해 뭐해. 난 특이해, 또 쓸쓸해. 외로워도 모두가 미워해도 It's alright. I really don't belong. Why am I so insecure? 차갑게 비웃어 날. Is there anywhere I can go? 날 위로해줘. 물결 속에 다시 비춰본 내 모습. 미운 오리 한 마리가 보이네.
Okay, let's talk about this one, shall we? Wow. Okay. I haven't read the lyrics yet. I'm going to next. Here's my first thought, because I can see a couple of lyrics on the screen. I know I don't belong here. Why am I so insecure? Maybe. It's all right. I really don't belong. Why am I so insecure? Is there anywhere I can go? Outside of these lyrics that I can read, there's a couple things musically that I think are interesting. And I'm going to kind of spit out my theories based on the music And then we'll dig into the lyrics and we'll see if we find maybe things that potentially tie together or confirm that theory. Okay. So this is definition of ugly is. First of all, this voice is unreal. It's so perfect. And the fact that it's alone, it's by itself, is so perfect. So here's where I put this song. This song musically feels like the beginning of a thought straight through the processing, but not the resolution of that thought. Here's what I mean by that. When you first get that inkling, okay, for instance, let's just say hypothetically, it's about your own insecurities. Okay, let's just put it at that hypothetically. When that thought first comes in your brain, or it's an emotion first, you feel it first, and then your brain kind of gets a hold of it, and then you start to do things with it. Okay, but when it first hits you, that emotion is very visceral. It's completely automatic. There's nothing you can do about it. You just receive it. So the fact that it's the voice first. Oh, it's beautiful, right? It's just the voice. When the instruments pick up, we start to kind of work through it a bit, okay? It gets stronger. I don't know about you, but I could not help but just kind of sway to this. Like literally, it just kind of had me, and it was very deliberately just moving me along. I was along for the ride. So we take this thought, this emotion, we start to ride it through. We start to get pieces together. We start to make sense of it, okay? And then things quiet down. We come back to the voice. Let me get back to that point. You know, there's a point coming up where the music kind of stops, the voice trails, there's a pause where you think it's over, and that is the calm before the storm. And when the storm hits, to me, it feels like musical processing. It feels like whoever is playing the guitar is working through this emotion, and it feels chaotic. It feels messy. It's beautiful, but it feels very raw. And that is confirmed for me the way that they ended it, okay? I'll show you.
다시 비춰본 내 모습 미운 오리 한 마리가 보이네.
You feel that? That is raw. That is real. That is everything that has had structure in the last 3 minutes and 24 seconds. And all of a sudden it just came out. There was nothing we could do. We tried to hold it together, but it's coming out. And here it is. It is now available for the world. You hear that? That's not a resolution. That's just that's an exhale. Okay. When I talk about that storm coming in after that calm, and the music is essentially processing that emotion, it's very raw. And the way they end it, that's it. There's no resolution. And I think that's important, because if this makes sense within the scope of the album, it's not time for resolution yet. This is the birth of the journey. We may have some resolution early on in the next couple songs, but then we may have a point of conflict. And then we have to navigate or traverse that conflict and then find some point of processing and resolution again. That is to say, if this album does that. Not all albums do. Some albums are just a collection of great songs. That's it. But if there's a message, we're going to find it. We're going to sniff it out. God, I love these guys. Oh, this music is so friggin' strong. It's so powerful. All right, let me hit the lyrics on this one. I'll share this with you, okay? Definition of ugly is, when I see myself reflected in the waves, I can see what I'm lacking. I'm weird. Everyone says it. You're avoiding me again. I'm used to it now. Even if you're upset, everyone pushes me away. I know I don't belong here. Why am I so insecure? You're laughing at me coldly. Is it wrong to be different? Maybe. Is something special wrong? What do you expect me to say? I'm peculiar and I'm lonely. Even if I'm lonely, even if everyone hates it, it's right. I really don't belong. Why am I so insecure? You're laughing at me coldly. Is there anywhere I can go? Comfort me. I look at my reflection in the waves again. I see an ugly duckling. Wow. So let me ask you this, chat. How many of you, either now or at some point in your life, you feel like you can relate to some or most of these lyrics right here in this song? As expected. Yeah. So I think there's a chance, based on these lyrics and the weirdness, the insecurity, you're laughing at me coldly. Is it wrong to be different? How many of us are not different? Think about that, right? But yet when we say, I'm different. Well, shit, we're all different. That's the whole point. But how many of you, if you can relate to this, just for the sake of what we're talking about and the crafting of this album, to me, with these lyrics and this music, this really does feel like there's an explosion of emotion. It's almost a frustration, right? I was saying it's kind of the calm before the storm, and I think that's true, but there's a frustration that builds because throughout the lyrics of the song, we get like, why am I so insecure? I don't belong here. I really don't belong. You're laughing at me. To me, that's frustrating. There's even this line here towards the end. Comfort me. It's almost a plead, right? There's all these questions earlier on. There's acknowledgement of, I'm weird. And all this information, like we talked about, is external. I'm weird. How do I know that? Everyone says it, right? Even if everyone hates it, I really don't belong. There's a frustration here. We get that softness, that vulnerability in the voice. There's the pause, the calm before the storm, and then there's just that frustrated explosion musically of just, I have to get it out. That's how this feels. That's my interpretation. Yeah, cry for help. I think that's pretty good. Man, love it. Now, another thing I will note is that I don't know who is the writer of each song, but also I don't know if necessarily if that is important to me, right? Because I want to take the album as an entire entity and analyze it from start to finish. If I assume that the writers working together to create this entity are essentially kind of in sync, right? They'll come up with a message that has a trajectory from start to finish that we can analyze. Maybe not.